Hi guys, and welcome back to another video from my kitchen. As you've seen from the title, talking about managing the festive period, and I know how much this can be a nerve-wracking time, particularly if your goal is fat loss. Just wanted to talk through a couple of things that you can do and that'll hopefully help to relieve some of that stress and anxiety around this period, whether you're just starting out or you're like a few months in or a few years in even into your fat loss goal. Hopefully these will help. Also just want to say before I start, sorry about my dishes drying in the background there. I was trying to block them out with me, but turns out I haven't. Want to start off as well by saying, first of all, before I get into anything, that any time of the year, nothing should be off limits, and I'm very much a big believer in memories over macros. However, I appreciate that your health is wealth, and working hard on yourself to become the best version of you, whatever that looks like to you, is obviously really important, something that I'm very much on board with. But that doesn't mean that you've got to miss out on anything, whether it's during this festive period or any time of year. And these tips will be helpful for that, but just remember that you're never going to get time back, and it's important to not let calorie counting and stuff like there's the way you look, stuff like that, consume you, and missing out on that time, because you'll not be able to jump in a time machine and go back to that and re-enjoy it. I mean, one day that might be possible, but right now it's not. And you've got to live in the moment and not stress about it. Like one night out or a few nights out and meals out isn't going to break the bank, and you won't ruin your progress or anything like that. You might feel a bit bloated, you might hold on to some water retention, the scales might fluctuate, but you can't gain fat that quickly, and it's really important to remember that. And even if you do gain a little bit, really weigh things up, what wins for you, making memories with loved ones, and then you can get back to it in January and lose those couple of pounds, or missing out on time with people just to be a few pounds lighter. You've got to kind of weigh up, you will lose those pounds eventually, and it's better to do it slowly in a sustainable way than just trying to get a quick fix. Always say, just think about the long-term goal. And really, anyway, if the scales fluctuate, it doesn't mean fat gain. It's something to remember as well. I've done another video on this, but you're not just trying to lose scale weight, you're trying to lose body fat is the main thing that you're wanting to achieve when you say you lose weight effectively. So some scale fluctuations, just a reminder, doesn't mean fat gain. And like I say, even if you gain a pound of fat, you can lose it again. As I say, you want things to be sustainable and thinking about that long-term goal. So that's the first thing to think about. So some ways that I would manage a fat loss goal around occasions is the calorie cycle. So basically you will have your calories that are specific to you, your deficit calories. So calorie deficit, for those that don't know, is the only way to lose fat. So obviously they're relevant to each person. So just for example's sake, if your calories are 1,700 to lose fat, what you can do is, say if you've got things going on a weekend, you can go to around 1,600, 1,650 through the week, and that will essentially bank you calories for to use as extra for the weekend when you're going out, to give you a bit more flexibility, because it's what you do across the course of a week that's important, not what you just do in one day. So if you're ever so slightly lower throughout the week, obviously within reason, don't just slash them completely and then binge on a weekend. This is different to that. You're only going ever so slightly lower to create a bigger deficit, and then obviously either keep you in a smaller deficit on the whole, or you could even just go up to maintenance on a weekend, and again it's going to keep you in a small deficit across the course of the week. So calorie cycling is something that I always use when I am dieting, just because I find it gives us more flexibility when I have plans on a weekend, and means that I'm not going to miss out on anything or stress too much. And also something that I do with a lot of my fat loss clients to help them find that balance. I think it's important, as I've already said, about being able to go out and spend some time with your family and your friends and the people that you love the most, and make those memories. And then on other days you can sort of knuckle down, so to speak, and focus, have a bit more focus on your calorie counting and things like that, and that just helps you to get a good balance. Like, tracking is a really good tool, but I also think it's important to be able to have a break. You know, I see both sides of it when people are like, tracking's really bad for you, and then, you know, the flip side of each one. But as I say, I think it's important to use it as the tool that it is needed for, but then also not to get too obsessive with the numbers, and, you know, allow yourself a break and kind of like put into practice what you've been like learning through tracking. Like, tracking helps you to learn, helps you see portion sizes, like think about what you're putting into your body and stuff like that. But then when you have a time where you're not tracking, it helps you to be a bit more mindful about what you're eating. I mean, whatever you choose to do is totally fine, but like I say, just looking at it from it, if you are tracking, that is a good way to do it, and then having that break allows you to kind of put that into practice and just like relax a little bit. I mean, ultimately, you know, like taking a few days off, like Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, Boxing Day, again, isn't going to break the bank. You know, it's not going to affect your progress that much, and having a little break from training and a break from tracking and just kind of eating what you're fancying is good for the mind and good for the soul. And as I said, if we're thinking about the long term and the long run, like working with your body like rather than against it is so much more beneficial than, you know, just trying to restrict, stressing about the numbers. Stress actually can be really, well, it's bad for your body, not can be, it is bad for you in general, but especially if you have a fat loss goal, it can cause imbalanced hormones, and then you can get more water retention, which causes more bloating, which makes you feel uncomfortable, and it's not nice. So just something to think about. And obviously as well, when those imbalanced hormones come about, it then does raise the hunger hormone, ghrelin, so you get more hungry, and then it makes it even harder to stick to your deficit and your fat loss goals. So just some things to think about. Like I say, my main thing that I want you to take away from it is to just like not stress and make those memories, make those macros. Not stress and make those memories, memories over macros, is what I was meant to say. If you're really like concerned, I would honestly encourage you to get a coach. Like, that doesn't necessarily have to be me, whoever you feel comfortable working with, like, because it is a team effort. And, you know, 9 times out of 10 coaches are relatively quiet at this time of year, so they'll have like more spaces to take you on, and, you know, like, it's a really good time to get started, as I say, because people like wait till January and think, oh, that'll be the perfect time because I've got nothing on or whatever. Like, this is actually a really good time to get a coach, because you're going to learn so much more, and you're going to learn how to go out and do all these different things, you know, and manage that going forward. Like, having a coach, you should be able, obviously for the accountability side of things, but gain lots of knowledge to take with you into the future so that you can continue on your journey and do it yourself. And as I say, this is a really good time to take away that, like, a lot of knowledge on how to manage like nights out and meals out and stuff like that, and a good coach will help you with that, especially over the festive season. And it comes around every year, so then if you gain that knowledge, then next year you've got that knowledge for life, like by investing in yourself and starting you know, before the new year and getting that head start, and then you'll hopefully feel better and more confident going into the new year. But also just knowing that you've had like a good break over Christmas and just feel good, and like you've gained that knowledge. And again, that knowledge is power, as I've said it like before in other videos. The more you know, the better you can feel. Like, I know, going back to my past when I used to stress about stuff like this, I didn't know what I know now, and because I know all this stuff now, like, the festive period does not stress me out at all anymore. I can enjoy it, and I know what I need to do if I want to get back on track, or if I want to stick to a certain goal and all that sort of stuff. Like, having that knowledge, it takes away that stress in a sense, if that does make sense. I feel like I know what I'm trying to say. Hopefully it's translating well, but yeah, just wanted to come on just to have a little waffle basically about that, but hopefully that helps. And the calorie cycling thing is one thing that is really beneficial, you know, to manage occasions like this. But just know that if you gain a little bit of weight, it's not the end of the world. You can lose it again, you know, again, with the right knowledge and having that knowledge, which is going to give you the power to know what to do, and that can just make you feel a lot better within yourself, of like, okay, it doesn't matter if I gain a few pounds, I can lose it again. I had a good time, I had a good Christmas, really enjoyed myself, and now I can get back and focus to working on my goals. So hope that helps anyway. Any questions or anything that I can help with, please pop them below. I'd be more than happy to help just ease your mind around this time of year. And as I said, if you are interested in knowing more about my online coaching, the link for that is also below to inquire, as I'm currently running my coaching with a Black Friday sale if you sign up before the end of the year. So again, helping you to get a head start before the new year. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you on the next one.